I came home from my father's funeral and found my life bulldozed, literally. Picture this. It's 2 in the morning, my dad's funeral program still crumpled in my cup holder, and all I want is to see the old house. Instead, my headlights sweep across what used to be my grandmother's place. Gone. 60 years of family history gone. Now it's just a mangled heap of drywall, twisted copper, and a thick, chemical smell of diesel hanging over everything like a curse. And standing right there in my driveway, smirk on, clipboard in hand, white BMW parked just so, is Delilah Thornfield, HOA president and self-proclaimed guardian of property values. You ever have one of those moments where your world just freezes? That was mine. She clicks up in her heels. Honestly, I think the woman files her nails to points and gives me the sort of smile you see on someone who enjoys making bad news sound polite. Marcus, honey, emergency demolition. Structural safety, you understand. If I hadn't been so angry, I might have laughed. She had no idea about the security drone. Yeah, the one I'd rigged up in my neighbor's palm tree after some punks egged her mailbox. That little thing had been live streaming her whole illegal demolition party straight to Phoenix PD's cloud storage. Every greedy word, every bulldozer load, every scrap of solar panel they pried off my roof. Let's back up. My name's Marcus, 47, Navy vet, solar panel installer, regular guy who never wanted to fight. 18 months before, I inherited Grandma's modest ranch house in Pinewood Estates. Nothing fancy, but it was home. A 1962 brick box with ancient trees out front, where the only excitement was watching Mrs. Henderson's sprinklers go rogue. I'd poured months into turning that place energy independent. Top-shelf solar panels, Tesla battery backup. In a Phoenix summer, that's the difference between keeping cool and sweating through your couch. That's when Delilah first came knocking. She's the kind of person who turns a clipboard into a weapon. First meeting, she's all business, tapping her heels up my driveway while I'm elbow-deep in solar wiring. Unauthorized exterior modifications. She chirps, waving a violation notice printed on paper that probably cost more than my water bill. There's solar panels. I protest. City signed off on every permit. She glances at my paperwork like it's a joke. The city doesn't override the HOA, Mr. Delqua. We have standards. That smile could have chilled my beer. I thought it was just a nuisance, maybe a fine, some red tape. 3 weeks later, she drops a letter, $50 daily fine. Then another, 30 days to comply, no extensions. I show up at the next HOA meeting, one of those beige rooms that smells like anxiety and old carpet. Maybe 20 people out of 200 showed. Delilah runs it like a hostile takeover. PowerPoints, lectures about architectural harmony. But I start noticing things. Neighbors whispering about corner lots, getting violation notices, and then suddenly selling their homes to Delilah's real estate firm. My neighbor Cornelius, retired paralegal, catches my eye and taps his temple. Document everything, he mutters after the meeting. She's got more angles than a geometry textbook. I wish I'd started sooner. Then my dad's cancer diagnosis hit, and I barely had time to think about Delilah's games. I was flying back and forth, spending nights in hospital chairs that felt like torture devices. Before I left, I asked Cornelius to keep an eye out. Didn't mention the motion-activated drone I'd set to dump footage to the police cloud. Turns out I need it. Day 3 in Baltimore, phone rings. It's Cornelius, voice shaking. She's at a city official out here, claiming your place is unsafe. They posted a 72-hour demolition notice. What? Arizona law says 10 days. HOA can't condemn anything. But this official just so happens to own rental properties Delilah manages. Suddenly, orange cones are in my driveway. Crews setting up on a Friday night before a long weekend. I file an emergency injunction. It's approved 4 hours too late. Saturday morning, 6 a.m., my drone catches Delilah, strutting around in her suit, directing workers where to rip out solar panels, strip copper, salvage everything. She's running the whole show, right down to which parts they can flip for profit. Not a city crew, either. Delilah's ex-husband's company. Of course, when I finally flew home, she had the nerve to show up with coffee and her oh-so-sorry routine, offering to help file my insurance claim and suggesting I might want to move somewhere more suitable. Meanwhile, Cornelius is digging through state records, uncovering a perfect pattern: corner lots, bogus violations, frustrated owners selling low to Delilah's firm. Turns out, Arizona law requires HOA board members to disclose any financial interests. Delilah never did. Every action she took, invalid. That should have been the end. But Delilah isn't the type to quit. The next morning, she's there in her heels, wading through my grandmother's kitchen tiles, now mixed in with the rubble. Paperwork confusion, she says. City got overzealous. I'll get you a quick insurance settlement. 45 grand for a house, and solar setup, worth twice that. I wanted to scream. Cornelius shows up at my hotel with a folder thick as a Bible. She's been doing this for years, he says. Old folks, young couples, anyone vulnerable. All it takes is a few manufactured violations, and suddenly Delilah's firm owns another house at a bargain. But the drone footage, those real estate records, and all those for sales, it was starting to look like a federal case. Calls go out. Real estate commission, police, local reporters. The evidence is mounting. Bank transfers, envelopes exchanged in parking garages, phone calls with threats. Then comes the twist. My drone catches asbestos tiles from my kitchen going into a regular dumpster. EPA violation. Now we're talking prison time, not just fines. Delilah's mask slips. She calls, warning me about dragging the community through the courts, reminding me who she knows on city council. What she doesn't know, the call's being recorded by an investigative reporter in my hotel parking lot and flagged by the police system for threaten and intimidate. Her demolition crew starts trying to erase evidence, hauling debris off at 2 a.m., but my cameras catch every minute. Now they're tampering with evidence, too. Trevor, one of her earlier victims, is a tech guy. He helps piece together more footage. Delilah bribing the code enforcement official. Cash, signed documents, everything. Then comes the knockout punch. Cornelius, up all night, finds the original HOA documents. Turns out, any board member who profits more than $5 grand from community real estate is automatically removed. Delilah stopped being president 3 years ago. Every fine, every violation, every sale, invalid, illegal. Now the real fireworks start. Our little group, me, Cornelius, Trevor, Mrs. Patterson, and reporter Sophia, organizes. Legal complaints, media exposés, federal investigators all working in sync. We dig up proof that Delilah's siphoned off thousands from the HOA's emergency fund, paying herself consulting fees while claiming to be an unpaid volunteer. She even tries a smear campaign, calling me a dangerous veteran to scare the neighbors, vandalizing my rental car, threatening everyone who dares to speak up. But her panic only brings more eyes. The EPA's investigation snowballs. 6 other sites, millions in potential fines. Even the IRS joins in. Finally, in a last act of self-destruction, her own lawyers hand over every incriminating document, trying to prove her innocence. Sophia's news broadcast airs. Audio of Delilah coaching her lawyers to lean on the veteran angle, admitting to bribery, racism, obstruction, all in her own voice. The city council meeting is a circus. 200 people cram in, every victim holding their evidence. I show the footage, the accounts, the scams. Delilah bursts in, shrieking about witch hunts and mentally unstable veterans. She says the quiet part out loud. Racism, prejudice, right there live. FBI agents walk her out in cuffs for wire fraud, embezzlement, environmental crime, civil rights violations. On TV, her own words, her own downfall. 6 months later, I'm standing in a new kitchen, sunlight pouring in, watching hummingbirds dart past my solar panels. Delilah's in prison. The victims get restitution. The new HOA president? Cornelius. Mrs. Patterson starts a memorial garden with her settlement. Trevor's helping neighbors go solar the right way. My business takes off, helping people fight back against bullies like her. The best revenge? Not just surviving, but building something better than what they try to take. Our little neighborhood went from the site of a scam to the center of state reform. Now, every year, we throw a festival with all the money we got back. Barbecue, workshops, and music echoing off the desert rocks. So, what would you have done in my shoes? Ever tangled with an HOA or a local bully who thought they could get away with anything? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear about the wildest things you've seen. Where are you watching from? And how would you handle it if someone tried to bulldoze your home? Let's keep each other honest. Let's make sure this kind of story never happens again.